This is called a bomb cyclone. As a weather event along the East Coast, it's impacting much of the United States. A bomb cyclone is basically a winter hurricane. It occurs when a mid-altitude cyclone rapidly intensifies, this according to USA Today, or quickly drops in atmospheric pressure, marking the strengthening of a storm. This can happen when a cold air mass collides with a warm air mass, such as air over warm ocean waters. The formation of this rapidly strengthening weather system is a process called bombogenesis, which creates what is known as a bomb cyclone. This is a bomb cyclone.
B-O-M-B?
Yes. And we are likely to put together or break the record for most consecutive days under 20 degrees. Some of the effects of this cold weather, okay? Raise your hand if you've had to go put air in your tires.
Oh, God.
Have you had to do that?
No.
So,
since it's been cold, no.
I've had to put air in the tires a couple of times.
The last couple of days?
No, I had to do it the last couple of weeks. I'd wake up in the morning and would say low tire pressure, and I go put air in them.
I've had to in the past, and it's brutal when it's this cold out.
Yeah, and I had a place by my house that had free air, which is one of those small little life's victories, right? You see that, and free air, yes, free air, and you pull up and you. So I pulled up the other day, and they no longer had free air.
And now it costs you money, and you feel like you got to work in a pit crew to get it all done in time.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly right. Here's another impact of this weather. Raise your hand if you've had the beersicle. You store the beer in the garage. It's so cold, you go open up a can, and it's like a slushy.
Yeah.
I've had the beersicle.
In the years past, I actually kind of enjoyed it in years past.
See, I'm not a big fan.
Well, obviously, if it's too frozen and it sucks. But if there are just a few little flakes of ice in there, I think it's kind of cool.
I guess I like my beer to walk right up to the line of frozen, but not step over in any way whatsoever. But 248-539-9797, what have you seen or experienced in this cold that is unique to the bomb cyclone event that we are having?
I remember when I was a kid, we used to store, we had like Town Club Pop, you would go to a store and you would pick out your case of Town Club Pop, and they came in the cases of like 24 bottles. They'd be 16-ounce bottles, whatever. You pick the different flavors and put them in there. We stored them in the garage. Mm-hmm. And in the wintertime, I remember going out there and just seeing exploded bottles. I'm like, what happened here? And that's when you learn, when the cold air compresses.
Yep.
And it broke my heart.
It broke your heart?
Broke my heart. I had my heart set on having one of the green flavors. I don't know what it was. It was just green.
I was excited for green.
It was green.
Gonna have some green.
I was going to have green, and I couldn't have green because it had exploded and there was glass everywhere.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Thank you.
Yep.
And then it froze over, so it's not even like you had liquid everywhere.
Right.
Then it looked like a green slush, which made it even more enticing. But you can't do that, Doug, not with the glass.
No. So anyway, if there was anything that's been unique to this cold weather cycle that we've hit here, because we went up north, we were only up there for a day. Usually that's plenty of time. And you know me, plenty of time to, even if you're only up there for just over 24 hours, go skiing, right? Wind blowing, temperature was like 4 degrees. Even I was like, nah, it's going to be a long winter. I can do something else.
You know how in the wintertime, sometimes around the house, you'll have those stalagmites or stalactites that come down from the frozen icicles that come down from the gutters. I've had some whoppers this year. And on 2 different occasions, I've gone out and knocked them down. I did it the other day. One was hanging probably starting 7 feet high and almost came all the way down to the ground.
Wow.
It was impressive, and I thought about leaving it there. How big can we get this thing? But I thought better of it, and I started whacking them down with a miniature baseball bat, and spent time outside doing that. And I swear, when those things came down, it sounded like I was just breaking glass left and right, but I was not, clearly. And I thought that I'd heard that that's a problem with insulation in the house, but I've got plenty of insulation in the house. I don't know why Why this thing is come around twice.
Last night I had to actually put air in my tires.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Dude.
Dude.
So I had low pressure, right? I got one of those electronic ones that tells you the PSI of each tire. So one tire was low. On the way home, stopped with the wife with me. Like, Jack, I got to pull over and get some air here. First of all, we had to stop at 4 different gas stations. Like, the first 3, people had busted or it was out of order or whatever the case may be. So that was annoying in itself. But we finally find one, pay for it. And like you said, Gator, you feel like you're on a time limit. Why don't they have the time up there? Because I'm not part of a pit crew.
Right,
here.
you have no idea.
Yeah, I'm like,
you have to go with a game plan.
Yes.
You have to actually go in there and say, okay, I have to take the what are those little
caps off?
Yeah, I got to take the caps off of the stems there, and then I gotta go for it. And I don't know how much time I have.
And you got to park your car in a way where, you know what I mean, you can work the hose all 4 tires without having to like remove the car or something, or make sure you get enough line.
Right. Do I go left front, right front, then swing back around, go left rear, right? Oh, I have time. You expect to see like this little cloud pop up out of the air compressor. And, out of time, another quarter. I don't know why the clown would sound like a parrot, but.
But anyway, so I put it in. I'm like, hey, there's no gauge on here, so just use the digital and just scream out the window when I hit 32 psi or whatever. And she's like, all right, 32. So I take the hose out, and this thing's still shooting out air.
Right.
Like nonstop. Not the hose, the tire.
Yeah, because you got to put the
Yeah. So I'm like, well, that's not right. So
Actually, it's not right.
No,
No.
so I tried putting the hose back into, like, maybe I got something stuck inside, like the needle or something like that. And so I try moving it, and nothing's working. So I'm like, I tell her, hey, I'm going over. She's like, all right, 34, 35, stop. I'm like, all right, I pull it out, trying to pull the cap back on. She's like, 29, 28. So I'm like, oh, no. So I take the cap off, and I put the air back in. This goes on for like a minute. I can't feel my hands. I tell her, listen, we got to take this thing to Bell Tire and leave it in the parking lot because I'm not going to make it home. I have no idea. And there was a time where I had to change a tire in the weather this cold. I went home to wash my hands. I'd cut my hand and was bleeding and had no idea. It was so cold outside. Like, it was just frozen to my skin,
Oh.
That's how cold it is out. This bomb cyclone or whatever they're calling it.
Yes.
This is ridiculous. This is stupid cold. And you know what's bad? When Doug Karsch says enough. When Doug Karsch says enough, it's enough.
I love the winter. I embrace the winter. I do outdoor winter sports, but yes, enough. This is ridiculous. This is stupid cold.
Do you, like, if you, let's say you had plans to go up north this weekend, would you cancel those if you saw that the weather was going to be like what you mentioned earlier?
Have you been in my head? Yeah, I mean, we were going to go up north at least for a day and ski, and then I looked at the temperature, and the day we were going to go,
you just can't do it.
The day we were going to go has a high of 2 and a low of -13.
Like, I've been up north with friends back when I used to get on snowmobiles and snowmobiles and 4-wheelers in the wintertime, which was a lot of fun. And the weather, when it got to be cold like this or colder than this, it's just no fun. Like, you're out there for 10 minutes, just forget it. I'm turning around and going back. I'm just going to sit inside and drink.
You know what it is more than anything, which is also fun.
Start a fire and before I drink, and then just drink.
But if it's not as bad, the moment you add in just a little bit of wind,
forget it.
It becomes unbearable.
Yeah,
I could handle ridiculously cold temperatures, but the moment you add in any wind,
look,
it's they talk about wind chill and all that, and obviously, but it seems to amplify it by 20.
It really does. And you're talking about negative degrees here, where it's going to be -2, -3 degrees here in Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
What is the wind chill going to be? Are we kind of curious of that to see how cold it can get? Like, I don't want it to be freezing cold, but it's already going to be freezing cold. We know this. I kind of want to see how cold it can get with the wind chill.
I'm just looking,
knowing that it's going to warm up next week.
Our studios, the coldest temperature is projected for Friday at -4 here locally.
Oh, God.
Yep. But then by Sunday, it's high of 30, low of 28. So we're going to bounce back by Sunday, and then temperatures are consistently in the 20s and 30s after that. But you're saying you actually are saying you want to see how cold it can actually get?
Well, I'm not going to go outside, but I kind of want to see what it's like. Plus, I got Lois a sweater for Christmas.
The dog?
Sure.
You're going to take the dog outside in a sweater.
Well, let her run around, and she comes back when she's too cold.
Do you put
a sweater
have you put the sweater on the dog yet? And what does Lois think of the sweater?
She actually loves it.
I don't think animals love that stuff.
I never thought, of all dogs, I did not think this dog was going to love it, and she loves it.
Really?
Yes. She is very patient, letting me put the thing on. They take it off when I want to take it off. She loves it.
Do you get a little matching hat and gloves?
If I could have.
Let me guess, it's a black and red flannel sweater because that's all I've seen since November. Every day,
right?
someone is wearing a black and red flannel. Guarantee.
Did you say somebody or some animal?
Oh, apparently animals too now.
Okay.
I didn't even. Is he showing you a picture?
Yeah, he's showing a picture here.
What kind of sweater we got there?
It's not black and red. Let me see if I can. That's pretty funny. That's a pretty funny picture.
It's a knit sweater.
We got to see if we can tweet that out.
I can,
can
try to tweet that out. Yeah.
All right, Doug and Scott, open lines 248-539-9797. We got a whole ton of bold-ass predictions and a whole ton of rap names that have come in, plus 105. If you missed my prediction, and it's not meant to be bold-ass, it's just what I think is happening with the Lions coaching search. We'll get to that today at 105.